I gonna say? The well, I was gonna. Okay, so, um, this is what I. God, I just ruined. We're doing it live. We're doing it live. Um, so I was really meaning to bring this up to you beforehand, but I realized I didn't even talk to you about it yet, and now I'm just gonna talk to you about it now. But did you end up watching? And I don't think you have, but did you end up watching the new um Bo Burnham special yet?
No, I did not.
It's just it's incredible. It
Is
was
it funny?
it's not his funniest special, no.
Is
It's
it?
why does it have to
I
be
don't
funny?
care about because I want to watch something funny.
It's like a little funny, but it's mostly sad. It's sad and it's introspective and it's really good. It's like genius. It is funny, but like it's also sad like at the same time.
Okay, so what I'm hearing is it's not funny, which
It
is
is
fine.
funny.
I still do want to check it out. No, it's not. It's not.
There's there
You're
there are
lying to
laughs.
yourself.
No,
I don't
dude, there
believe
are
it.
some laughs. But it's just also depressing because there's a lot of like just the subject matter and like how he does it. It's funny, but it's also depressing. It's just I don't know how to
Yeah.
explain it other than that. It's definitely not as funny as Special, um, but it's in my opinion his best one, and I think it's
Wow.
just it's just genius. I've never seen anything like it. I think it's like his magnum opus of like
Ooh.
it's just really good.
Where'd you
Like
read that?
oh my god.
Sorry. I'm so sorry. I had to.
I all I was gonna, but I won't say anything else. But also, I will say, as I do think it's not his funniest, but I think it has some of the best songs out of all of his
Mm,
like so even if the songs
right.
like aren't like super like laugh out loud, the songs are like so clever and also his voice is just so like matured. Like I just really like
Wow.
I just think he like sounds really good. Like
I do, yeah.
I'm kind of sad that I'm kind of upset honestly about it because um for Make Happy he didn't release an album like he didn't release like an album for it, and then he also didn't release an album for this, and I'm bummed because Make Happy has a lot of songs that I like just genuinely think sound good.
Yeah.
But more than anything, this album or this special has so many songs that just get stuck in your fucking head. I've seen the special twice. Not even twice full 2 times through. I've only seen it once the whole way through. But I rewatched it cuz I wanted to listen to some of the songs again. And like they just get stuck in your fucking head like they're so good. Like I really wish I could like listen like just listen to some of them more, which you can just watch it. But I wish he released one of them on YouTube, but and it's one of the better songs on the special. I highly
Mm.
recommend it. It's very it's almost it almost feels like dirty to watch, if that makes sense.
Ooh.
Like it feels like you shouldn't it feels like we shouldn't be observing what we're observing, if that makes sense. Like it just feels like too personal. It's great, and it's not personal, and that's why I think it's like so well done. I don't know. Watch it. I think you'll like it. Anyone who's listening who hasn't seen it yet, watch it. I think you'll like it. I don't think it's for everyone. I should say that. I do not think it's for everyone. I think it's very much. I think it's very much. Uh, yeah. It's just not everyone's gonna like it, but if you've liked his stuff before, I think you're gonna really, really dig it.
Yeah, I
Um,
bet that's true. It seems very for the cool. Yeah, I want to check it out, but I definitely have to be in the right place to watch it
yeah.
before I get into it.
No, you do. I. Yeah. Because I watched it and I was not expecting it to be as like just sad as it was. I was like, Jesus Christ, this guy, is this guy okay? Does he need? Oh my
You know
god.
that
Hmm.
podcast that I sent you to
Yes.
listen to, the most
Yes.
casual one. Bo Burnham, I think Bo Burnham Returns, like the second episode he
Mm-hmm.
did of that podcast, is also phenomenal.
I
It's
did
so
hear the
good.
first one of him on that podcast too. But I didn't even know he came back on that one. I
Yeah, I'm
should
pretty sure it's the
listen to that.
second one that I really liked.
Yeah,
It's awesome.
he's really, I think he's like one of the best like artists of the generation, like hands down. In my
Yeah.
opinion. I just, with everything that he's done, like it's just all so goddamn good. It's kind of insane. Um anyhow, that's me gushing about that. I realized when we went to lunch the other day, I was forgetting to talk about something, and I was like, oh my god, that's what I forgot to bring up. Like I knew I forgot to
Oh,
bring
yeah, yeah,
something
yeah.
up. That's what I forgot to bring up, and I was like, damn. So I'll just bring it up on the show. Anyhow, it's on Netflix. Welcome to Film Juice. We're not on Netflix, but we could be
No.
in the
Hell no,
future.
man.
You don't want to be
We're
tied down.
outside. We live outside the grid,
we
dude.
we're outside. We're not inside. We're outside.
That's right. We're outside looking in on you in your box,
In
man.
your fucking
You
box,
can't
man.
try to put us in a box.
Yeah.
Uh,
um.
what do we got before we get
Oh.
into the movies? We got two trailers to talk
Yeah.
about, and then let's talk about this thing
Well. Well.
first,
Well.
because I don't
First,
really know what it is.
I
Oh, there's
will.
another
Well,
thing?
yeah. I just remembered, but something super small. Um. So, did you? I know you're not on Twitter a whole lot, but did you see? Do you follow Edgar Wright?
No.
Okay. He tweeted something very exciting.
I
And it
I only
was
follow people involved in the show Double Shot at Love on my personal Twitter, which I have not gone on in,
That's my
I mean,
favorite.
a very long time, probably a year.
I think it's my favorite sentence I've ever heard you say. That's
Double Shot is a phenomenal show. Shout out to all those guys making
hell
things
yeah.
happen. Vinny, Paulie D, Darren,
Yeah, give him a
B
quick shout out.
Lashes,
Hell yeah.
everybody else,
I so
except for what's her name. If you watch the show, you know him. Nikki, except for Nikki. No shout out to Nikki.
no
But I
shout
think
out to Nikki.
she was actually better this season than she was last season.
Wow. I have to find this tweet because it was really fucking exciting. Um he might have deleted it actually. He might have gotten in trouble for posting it. So he might have deleted it because now I'm not seeing it. Oh my god, I'm not seeing it anymore. Okay, so I
My
think he
God.
deleted it. So Edgar Wright tweeted. He said, I'm paraphrasing.
9/11 was an inside job. You heard it here first, folks. Edgar Wright is a 9/11 truther. Other
I'm
people, everybody's telling him not to say it, but he will not be silenced.
He will not be silenced.
He does not believe that the attacks on that fateful day in 2001 was real. He thinks it was an inside job. It's wild. It's wild to say that.
Well,
it's absolutely strange. And
well,
we applaud him for his bravery.
Jesus Christ.
Come out
Anyone.
and say what he believes.
Oh my god. Oh Jesus Christ. Anyone who clips this show out of context is
an idiot. And they think that they said Edgar Wright was 9/11 truther. Yeah, okay. All right, buddy.
That's really funny. That's so funny.
You're doing all right, pal. You're doing all right.
You're doing all right. So okay. I'm paraphrasing because I guess I couldn't find it, so maybe he deleted it. But Edgar Wright tweeted that he saw he saw a movie and he's not allowed to talk about it, but it was supposed to come out last year, and all he said was that it is as good as you think it is as good as you think it is.
But
And
he couldn't say what movie it was.
no, because it's like he's not allowed to say what movie it is. People think
Yeah.
it's about Dune. Everyone was like, "Oh, he's talking about Dune." Everyone thinks
Oh
he's
my
talking
God.
about Dune. And I'm like, that's all I needed to hear. If he's talking, and it's not confirmed,
Yeah.
but if he's
Yeah.
talking about Dune, I was already excited, but that's even
Right.
he
If I mean
said
that is wild.
he literally said it's everything that it's everything that you want and more. But it could also not be about Dune. I think he deleted the tweet cuz I can't find it anymore. But it is exciting stuff that I saw that, and I hope that's what it's about. It's really cool. Um
Wow.
so
That would be huge. I mean, that's massive praise coming from him if that is the case.
yeah,
That'd be insane.
so
God, that movie,
it'd be really cool.
terrified, excited.
People were. I mean, he also could have been talking about something else, obviously, but it definitely because
Yeah.
there was a lot of
Could have
movies
been
that got
talking
delayed.
about
No Time to
right.
Die. He could have been talking about a lot of other movies,
Yep.
but people in the comments were saying Dune, and I was like, oh, that's a good idea. It could be Dune. So anyway, yeah. So very exciting stuff for that. That's something super small. But yeah, just want to start off with that. But yeah, you were talking about so very small and nothing huge, but the Borderlands movie was announced a while ago, a little bit. And Jamie Lee Curtis then Jamie Lee Curtis was cast, and we also got a few other people after that, and I'll just say who the characters and the casting is. We got and I'll explain. Kate Blanchett is going to be Lilith. Jamie Lee Curtis is going to be Tannis. Jack Black is going to be Claptrap, which is perfect. Kevin Hart's going to be Roland. Florian Montanu is going to be Krieg. And Ariana Greenblatt is Tiny Tina. And for those of you who are not aware, and they released the first cast photos, which are just silhouettes of like their outfits and their poses, but they look great. Like you can already tell. Like you don't really need to see more. I'm gonna be happy when we see more. But honestly, like it shows exactly what you want to see, like just from the silhouettes, because they're really done well. Anyhow, so Borderlands is a video game series made by 2K. And it's been going on for a long time. And there's 3 of them. Actually, there's more than 3 games, but there's a lot of games. But yeah, so it basically takes place in a post-apocalyptic world. Actually, a lot of worlds. It spans the whole galaxy. There's a lot of different worlds. And it's a post-apocalyptic world, and yeah, I mean, it's just a lot of goofy characters, a lot of goofy costumes. Goofy might not be goofy characters is the right word, but it's weird. It's kind of thinking about it like Mad Max meets people might hate this, but I don't give a shit. Kind of think about it like Mad Max meets Rick and Morty. That's kind of
Gotcha.
that's
Cool.
kind of what it is. If I had to like describe it to someone like who hasn't played the games or seen what the games are, like that's kind of how I describe it. So yeah, very cool stuff. The style, the last thing I'll say about it is the style. If you've played the games, it's like cell shaded, like how Spider-Verse is. So
Yeah.
I'm very curious so it's like very comic booky, right? So I'm very curious how they're gonna show that in the movie. Now this is the thing.
This is gonna be a live action thing.
Yeah. Now this
Okay,
is the
gotcha.
thing. I could see this going one of 2 ways. I could see this going I could see this being like a really fun movie, like kind of like Guardians of the Galaxy esque. I could also see this going the other way with Suicide Squad, the first Suicide
Yeah.
Squad. I could see it going both ways. I don't know which way, obviously, like who knows, but I really hope that it goes the right way because, I mean, the casting is already really good. Just like it's really good casting. Like, in like these are characters who exist in the games, and so yeah, I'm excited. I think it'll be cool stuff. But anyway, that's all we know about it. But yeah, we'll see what's going on. Uh, so yeah, that's that. That's that little bit of smaller news, and then we got two trailers to talk about. You want to talk about the start with the first one, Andrew?
We'll go with the older one then, which is called Old,
Yeah.
because that one came out a week ago.
Yes.
It's the new M. Night Shyamalan movie. It's got that Alex Wolff in it and some other folks. Like,
Yeah.
I like him. Um, Joe, I just watched and Joe and I were talking this trailer.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you watch the whole movie. Like the trailer is
Yeah.
very I felt very tense after watching it.
Yeah.
Um, these people, this family goes on vacation to a beach. They find this little secret type of beach. There's some other folks on there. And then everybody starts aging and things get real weird. The thing about it though is that they're still trying to sell the M. Night Shyamalan movies on the twist, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's why they feel comfortable with
Just showing
um
so much of it.
yeah, exactly, showing like the whole movie in that trailer. And I kind of I'm sure maybe M. Night Shyamalan is like really into what he does, hopefully. But if I were him, uh, or if I were in that position rather, I'd be like, feel rough. Like every single one of my movies like has to have a twist. Like this
Yeah.
is the thing. Like that sucks,
Yeah. That is true.
you know.
Yeah.
And he did that movie,
Maybe this one won't have
The
a twist.
Happening, right?
Yeah.
Have you seen that movie?
That movie was terrible, right? That was with
It's I mean that's one
Mark
Mark Wahlberg,
Wahlberg.
Zoe
Yep.
Deschanel, one of the worst movies I've ever
It's a
seen.
pretty bad movie.
This this has happening potential, I feel like.
Yeah, I'll admit, like, I agree. The characters, like, the acting just from the trailer didn't seem incredible, in my opinion. Maybe it wasn't the acting so much as how it was portrayed. I don't know how to explain that. It's like maybe it was the writing more so than just from what they showed in the trailer. But you know, trailers can be deceiving in that way. Um, I will say, I think that what's it called? Jesus Christ, I lost my train of thought. Sorry. I will say I think the concept is cool, but the thing about it is it like you said, it's very like, yeah, I can see where it's like going. So it is kind of banking on that twist factor, just
Mhm.
on that. So I think that's also part of it, like they're trying to reel you in with that. Um because you're not supposed to know like what's going on.
Because it does,
Um
because you know what I mean, what they show a lot of what is going to happen.
mhm.
And it's pretty intense things. You know, they show like little kids growing up and like weird stuff and looks like somebody's like getting pregnant. Like it's very strange.
Yeah,
Um,
it's a lot. It's very intense. Yeah,
so what's happening is pretty drastic and you have no idea what's causing it. So, I mean, I do want to know like what's going on, but at the same
yeah.
time, I don't know. Like the movie looks a little uh like ooh, you know, it just looks a little tense. It looks maybe a little like scary. Looks like there might be some kind of cringy moments. Not I'm not talking about like watching The Office cringe, but like you know, what the word cringe used to mean, that kind of thing.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree. I think it's gonna be. I think it could go either way. It could be really good. It could not be. It like the concept is cool. It's just this is the thing about doing a trailer for a movie like this. How do you even do a trailer for a movie like this without giving the whole movie away, right? So
Oh, sure, but they you could do it though with that just showing like the kids growing up, but
mm-hmm.
they didn't. They showed way more than
Yeah,
that.
you're right. That's true. They did show way more than that. That is true. They didn't have to show the pregnant part. They didn't have to. Yeah, yeah. They didn't really have to show that, did they? Yeah.
If you just
So
showed the dead woman and that she had decomposed, you even could just do that. But then I think you
yeah,
do then, and if you end the trailer then with the kids growing up, that
yeah.
works.
And they could have also just yeah. You're right. They could have put a lot more mystery around it. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, they could have done that. I agree. They probably did show a bit too much, but we'll see because maybe he is banking on the whole twist idea, which I don't think is a great thing. But the thing about M. Night Shyamalan, like
Yeah,
we said, is he is very bumpy track record, right? I mean,
yeah, you never know.
yeah, like Split was great. I heard Glass wasn't great. Um,
Glass was all right.
um, and
No,
then
we did Glass on the show.
we did not do Glass.
Mm.
Um, and then what was the other? There was another one that came out recently.
Unbreakable was of that. Oh, recently? I
There
don't know.
was like his recent ones have been like
Signs.
steadily like doing okay. Um, so
Well, I feel like Split was a big resurgence with that.
yeah, Split was his big resurgence. That one and the one with the kids in the house. A lot of people liked that one too. Oh fuck, what was that
You
called?
know,
I can't remember what it
Kids
was
in the
called.
House.
Yeah, kids in the house. No, it was these kids were in the house and there was the visit. It was called the visit. That's what it was called.
Ugh, I didn't hear about that.
A lot of people liked that one. I thought it looked bad, but maybe it wasn't bad.
Yeah,
I only saw the trailer. So anyhow, so yeah, we'll see what's going on. M. Night Shyamalan, he's made Avatar: The Last Airbender, so anything can happen. And that movie was the
yeah,
worst.
but you
Is
know what?
one of the
That's
worst
a
movies of all
movie.
time.
Yeah, but that's, I mean, that movie had a lot of that's a big that's a studio thing.
That's
I'm
not
although I
just a
don't think
studio
that
thing. That is not just a studio
I
thing.
think a big part of it is a studio thing. I think they were really banking on that movie. However, I don't think M. Night Shyamalan does seem like the kind of guy that, yeah, you got to put some of the blame on him for that. He does
Yeah.
seem like the type of guy that,
Yes.
you know, wouldn't necessarily fight him super hard if they were like telling him,
Yeah. I.
we gotta have all these changes that make it real shitty. He's
Uh
like,
huh.
whatever,
Yep.
you got it.
I wouldn't be surprised if some of them were his ideas as well, because he just likes to make things
Little
weird,
technical difficulty. What are you gonna do?
Um.
Yeah.
Um. What else was I gonna say? So the other, yeah. Then we got one more trailer. Which is I sent you it yesterday because I think it just came out yesterday. And it's this new Hugh Jackman movie, which I haven't seen Hugh Jackman. I don't think we've seen him in a movie, like in a big movie since. Has it been since Logan? There's no way. Like he's
No,
been in.
because there was The Greatest Showman.
Yes, The Greatest Showman, of course. Yes, yes, yes. That might have been the last time I've seen him in a movie though. In a big like huge movie. Um, but yeah. So this movie seems super interesting. It's called Reminiscence. Stars Hugh Jackman, Rebecca Ferguson, and Thandwi Newton.
I have no idea.
And Lisa Joy is directing it, I believe.
Let's see. Ooh,
Who has do we why am I blanking? What has Lisa Joy done? Let me check. I'm curious. I should have checked beforehand, but you know what? I'm going to check now. She's a screenwriter. Okay. Director, screenwriter. Oh, she did a lot with Westworld, I guess.
Oh, that's right. That's right. She was the co-creator of Westworld. They said that in the trailer. Forgot.
Oh. Okay. Cool. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. That's pretty sick. Okay, so, um, and this is a very, this is a, it seems like a sci-fi action thriller. Um,
I like
it,
it. I like that description.
yeah. I mean, it's huge. Basically, it seems like the oceans and the waters, the oceans have risen, the waters have risen.
Yeah.
Um,
Global warming, people, open your
yeah.
fucking eyes, dude.
Above sea
All
level.
right, kombucha
Um,
fucking rules.
kombucha fucking rules. And basically, like, it seems like the present that they live in is very grim. And you know, there's not like the dystopian world that it shows with the water like around the city and
Yeah.
everything. It looks really
Well, the
cool.
thing is, Joe, once the waters rose and the wars started, that's what happened from the trailer. But so apparently after the water did rise and the war started,
Hmm.
this device was created that lets people go back
Into the
into
like their
their
memories.
memories and
Yeah.
it's like a nostalgia drug is the way it sounds like it is described in the
Yeah.
trailer. And
Yeah.
then it seems that Hugh Jackman is using this device to try and figure out where his missing wife is,
Yes.
played by Rebecca Ferguson.
Because he's also, I think he's just a investigator to begin with.
Oh, okay.
I think I could be wrong, but it seems like they don't reveal too much in the trailer, which I like. But goddamn, like it looks. Not only does it looks really fucking good, like visually, I think it looks incredible. But like, it, God, it just looks really cool. I just think the concept is really cool. Like, cause at first I was like, oh, is this just like another Inception? Cause like that's like the first like thing that I thought of.
Sure. That's the thing. It looks like an old Christopher Nolan movie.
Mm,
Well, and not in a bad way, in a
yeah,
cool way.
but right when I started seeing like the whole water rise thing and like the setting that they're in, I was like, oh, that's a really cool like post-apocalyptic like kind of setting that I don't think we've seen too much like in modern day in like
Yeah, not since
films.
Waterworld. Kevin Costner's Waterworld.
um so I think that this is I think that this is a really cool concept, and I think it could be really well done. And I mean, Lisa Joy, that is an exciting name since like you know Westworld. Say what you want, like some people still really like that show. I haven't been into
I
it
don't know
since
why.
season 2. Well, apparently season 3 like was really good. I don't know.
Oh,
Um,
okay. Good.
I heard good things about season 3, but
All right. Because that's one of those shows I say about it all the time. All you need is one
mhm,
good season of television these days. Like
yeah,
that, you just need an idea for one season.
hmm,
And that's a show that first season was fucking really good.
fucking ruled, fucking
Fucking ruled. Season one of Westworld fucking rules,
ruled.
dude.
I'm actually curious, just how it did rating wise, because now I want to see if I'm talking shit or not.
Shit.
Where is the Rotten Tomatoes for it? Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Okay. Anyhow, but yeah, so it is exciting because you know Westworld. Say what you want about it, but it's I mean the sci-fi concept of that show and the visuals of that show are really like
Yeah.
really crazy. So I think I think it can be really like this concept can be in the like their hands can be like really well done. Um, oh, actually, season 3 had worse ratings than season 2, so never mind.
Ooh.
I mean, they're
Continued to drop off.
on. To be fair, like Rotten Tomatoes might not be the best place to go because they gave season 2 85 and season 3 73. So, and season 1 was only 87.
Mm.
So a lot of people
Wow.
still didn't hate like I don't know. I gotta watch more of it. You know I did fall
Yeah.
out of it for sure though.
Yeah.
but it'll happen. Anyhow, yeah, I don't know. What do you like? I also just thought like I don't know. I would this it was just a trailer that made me really engaged in it. Like I was like really into it. I don't
Yeah,
know
for
if you
sure.
felt.
For sure.
Yeah.
And like I said, I think that it looks like an old Christopher Nolan movie, you know?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and I like it. I think it's gonna be cool. I think
Mm-hmm.
it looks like it might be a little weird, might
Yeah.
get a little
I really
pretty
hope
out there
it's
at some
good.
points, but
Yeah.
it looks like they're also going all out with the visuals, like they're taking some
Mm-hmm.
pretty big leaps with that. So
Yeah.
we'll see.
I really.
But it's gonna be cool.
Yeah. I really hope it works out. It's I will say it's gonna be coming out soon, honestly, August 20th, and it's gonna be one of those movies that's in theaters and on HBO Max. So this is one that I think I'm gonna want to see in the theater though. So I'm probably gonna see this in the theater. Um, that's the see. And before we get into the movies we got today, I gotta say that's the great thing about this whole new thing that's happening, where you can kind of choose whether you see it in the theater or go um just watch it on the streaming service. It's just like it's so cool that like I don't know, there's a difference between some movies that I want to see in the theater and some movies that I just rather see at
Yeah.
home. And like I think it's great to have that choice. I don't think it's going to stay this way. I mean I would love it to, but I have a feeling it might start to fizzle out now that theaters are coming back. But at least for the next coming year, it's gonna be a thing. So that'll be nice. I know with the whole Paramount Plus deal, like that's huge too. So you know, that's a pretty big that's a pretty big deal. So we'll see what's going on with that as well. And like, cause I there's gonna be a lot of movies like premiering. They're doing the whole HBO Max thing on that. I'm pretty sure, right? With I I thought they were doing like same day
With what?
premieres. You know how like Paramount Plus was did that got that huge
Oh,
deal
is
going?
Paramount doing that? I have
I'm
no
pretty
idea
sure
actually.
I'm pretty sure they're doing the same thing as HBO with their movies starting soon. That's what I saw, but I could be wrong. I thought I saw that though. But anyhow, yeah, this trailer looks really cool. Check it out. Yeah, I love hearing about movies out of nowhere and just like being like, wow, this looks really sick. And that's exactly like what this movie was. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's yeah, I think that's all we got though. We can start talking about the movies I think we got today, and I
Alrighty.
am so pumped. Um yeah, this shit's going to be sick. What a Yeah, you wanna take it away with this first one?
Sure, I would love to. So, A Quiet Place Part 2, delayed, and now it's here. Supposed to premiere in 2020, but that year got skipped over. I don't know if you guys heard. So it just premiered this week, and it takes place immediately after the first one.
Yeah.
So now the Abbott family, uh, the remaining members, not John Krasinski, sorry,
Spoilers.
uh, no, he died in the fucking first one.
Yeah, spoilers. No, I'm
Spoiler
kidding.
for the first one?
I'm kidding.
No.
I'm kidding. If you haven't seen
No.
the first one and you're watching a review for the second one, you gotta watch the first one. I'm
I
sorry.
guess that was a spoiler. I don't really.
I don't really
Yeah, whatever. So,
care.
well, I mean, he's fucking not with him. So, um,
Yeah.
they now have a way. They figured out a way to kill these monsters, these aliens.
Yeah.
So it would seem, but they can't stay at their ranch because of the recent attack. So
Mm-hmm.
they see one of those fires that the survivors have kind of been lighting, and they start heading in that direction. They meet up with someone from the past, and they on a
Marty
radio
McFly.
they hear Marty McFly. They meet up with Marty McFly, but they hear a message on the radio. So
Hmm.
uh, Regan, the daughter, she decides to take it upon herself. She has to go to this radio station. Not it's they. She has to get there. They can put out a signal with with the tone that takes out these aliens and save everybody. Like, give them a way to finally fight back.
Hmm.
Obviously, they run into some problems. This movie, it's as there are some moments that are certainly as tense as the first one. But you know what I think the only thing holding me back from that is I don't know that there's anything quite as tense as the stepping on the nail moment from the first movie,
No,
because that was fucking crazy. But
I don't think
there
there's
are
any.
some,
I don't know if there's anything as tense as that whole sequence because
yeah, yeah.
it's hard to. Okay, it is really hard to beat
No,
someone
I'm not saying
going
it's a
through.
negative.
No, no.
I'm not saying
Oh
like
no,
it's
no,
bad
no.
because
I
they got
know.
to beat it, but
It's very hard.
yeah,
It's very hard to beat a woman going into labor and having to be silent. That is a very
yeah,
hard thing to beat. So it's like it's very hard to top that as like with tense moments. But this is the thing that I love about this movie. I don't think it's, and I don't think you were saying this, but I don't think this movie's necessarily like trying to just be the last movie, but like
Mm-mm. Not in the
it's
slightest.
no, it's doing its own. It's like it is evolving from the first movie, and it is
Exactly. It's a perfect continuation.
yeah, and it doesn't have to be as tense necessarily as the last one. It I
No.
think like just because this movie is kind of it is starting to transition to the next thing where the series is going, which who knows if it's gonna keep going, but
Yeah,
um
let's talk about that at the end.
yeah, 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 yeah.
But
But
what I loved is you could tell they were going to do this from the trailer, but I was so glad that the they opened with a very long flashback
that
of
was
the first day
yeah,
of this occurrence.
yeah, it was perfect.
That was a very exciting scene. It was fun to see. There were a lot of like references to the first movie in
Hmm.
those moments,
It was
which was
shot very
sick.
different too than the,
Of course, you have to, yeah,
but it was cool.
which excellent to see.
Yeah,
You have to, you got to do it.
like
It's the
those long
before
shots were
times.
just fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Like
You know what else in this movie? You get to see a lot, from what I remember, anyways. You get to see a lot more of the monsters in this movie. You really get
oh
to see
yeah,
what they look like,
yep. I,
and
mm-hmm.
they look pretty crazy. I love the way that they move. It's very
Yeah,
scary, but it's really cool.
yeah. The design of them is really cool. It like I said this when we reviewed the first one on the show years ago. But it reminded me of the flower creatures from the Demogorgon from
Yeah,
Stranger Things.
yeah,
Um,
right.
like just like the mouth part. But yeah, like it's yeah, the designs are great. It's so creepy. It's so cool. I gotta say, one thing I want to say about that intro scene, I loved it. I thought it was perfectly executed. I was worried that it was gonna like, I thought that intro scene was gonna be like 5 minutes tops, and it was gonna be like really rushed. Like I thought they were just gonna kind of like cut to the chase with it. But no,
Yeah.
like they take their time. Like they really take their time with that scene. That whole intro. And like I think it's like 10-15 minutes. And I loved it. I thought it was perfect. I loved that they took their time with it. And honestly, it made me really miss John Krasinski in this movie. Like I'm not saying that like I'm not saying that the movie is worse without him. I just like he's so good that like
Yeah.
just seeing him in the intro, I was like, damn. Like I mean it's good because it shows how much of a presence that he had in the first movie and in just the intro. Like it's a good
Right.
thing. It's just it sucks as a viewer because you really like him and he's so good in the intro. So, but it really
It's
does.
it's great for the it's great for the movie though,
Yeah.
because
Oh, you
there are
feel
kind
his
of
weight throughout the movie.
references to that a lot. Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, you really feel the
Yeah, I love
weight.
that opening.
Yeah, it's
Really
really
well
well done.
done.
Um,
While we're talking about
yeah,
people that were really good, we might as well just go to Cillian Murphy. That guy,
incredible.
that guy is so good. You feel like, I
Fucking
mean, who
incredible.
knows if any of this is true, but I feel like that guy's just so good. He seems to me like the type of actor where you just gotta like start filming and then he'll just do his job so well.
Yeah, I don't I don't know. I've heard like some weird story. I don't know how, like, who knows. I've heard some interesting stories from like Peaky Blinders stuff, which he's like the main character on. I've heard like some interesting stories on like sets for that where like sometimes I've heard he can be like kind of hard to work with, but I don't know how true that is. Um but
Well,
he I
that's
gotta
how it goes
say
sometimes.
I gotta say though, he fucking killed it in the, like, who knows if that shit's true, but also like he fucking kills it in this movie. Like, holy shit. This is I was like, when I saw him in the trailer, I was like, man, I wonder how much he's going to be in the movie, cuz I was worried when I first even heard about this movie. I was like, man, is this movie just going to be like Emily Blunt, like with the, like with the kids the whole time, and like
Yeah.
it's just like, but like they did a great job of like, because I just think like I just think that that movie is inherently, that type of a movie is inherently flawed because like I don't think there's like enough like there, like I feel like because she,
Right. If the whole movie had been just them trying to get to the new place,
yes,
yeah.
yes, yeah, yeah, no, I'm
Because
not,
that's a thing that I love is they got to where they wanted to go. Like
yes.
they didn't waste any time with that.
Yes, 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 yes. I was, that was not a dig on Emily Blunt, who is also incredible in this movie. But I like that.
Yeah.
But also,
You do hate her though. You've said that to me many, many times.
oh
You can't stand her.
my god. But if Emily Blunt ever watches this, I swear to God, no, I'm kidding. Um, so, but what I wanted to say was, she, you know, she just, not to, and it's not to spoil anything, but also, yeah, not to spoil anything, but you know, I think they utilized her the perfect amount in this movie because, you know, I was like, she just gave birth. She literally just fucking gave birth. Like, you can't have her be doing crazy shit in this movie like nobody's business. Like, you just, she, I'm not saying she doesn't do crazy shit, but like I was worried like that she was just gonna be an action star in this movie, which was not the case, and I think that's a good thing because I just think it would have been a little unrealistic with the predicament that her, like, that she's in this movie. And I think they,
Pregnancy is a predicament to you, Joe?
oh my,
Wow.
you're
Wow.
such a bitch.
I'm not staying for that patriarchy talk on this podcast.
Oh my god. Oh, it's the let's cancel
Well, I don't even
Joe.
know why you keep me around, Joe. I don't even know why you do it.
It's great. I love it. I love it. I, but but yeah. Anyways, that's all I was saying. I don't even know what else I had to say about it. But yeah, I thought that was really well done. But yeah, she did great in this movie. She was fucking amazing. I also gotta say, I thought the kid, like, everyone, you know what? Everyone did great in this movie. The kids, I thought, did great as well. Specifically, obviously, I think the one, oh god, what's her name? What's her character's name? It's
Regan?
yeah, Regan.
Regan Abbott?
I thought Regan did really well, and she has a lot of time to shine in this movie. But I gotta say,
That's true. This is really her movie.
it is. But I also gotta say, Marcus, the Noah Jupe, who plays Marcus,
Yeah.
I gotta say, the character he is given is in a very tough position because the way the character does things, I could see like people like being like, ugh, but that's not on the actor. The actor does an
Mm-mm.
amazing job, and I think
Yeah,
it makes complete sense. Like everything that happens makes like,
exactly. That's the whole thing. It's almost like the way that you know, that Joffrey was on Game of Thrones.
yeah,
Like you hated that guy so much because the that fellow was able to perform that character so well.
yeah,
And that's how I felt about Marcus in
yeah.
this
You
movie.
also don't
I was
hate him.
like,
You don't hate him. Like,
I didn't like him that much. This is how
yeah.
you say vagina in sign language is my understanding. And I was like, that guy's a real the whole time. That's what I was thinking. But
I
he but holy smokes, I mean, his character of all the like main four people that are in
Mhm,
this movie, probably he gets the least amount of time, I guess. But the way they show his growth, because it's
mhm.
so drastic,
Yeah,
is really good. And that guy, I mean, he really nailed it. Like
yeah.
his acting was it was a lot. It was a lot to take in. It was really good.
Dude, he. God, I wish we could talk about some spoilers, but dude, there is some stuff that there is some things that happen in this movie. Particularly, there's something that happens with his character, somewhat. I won't even say when, but it happens.
Yeah,
You know what I'm talking about. It's
yeah,
kind of unexpected. Holy shit! When that
yeah.
happens,
Dude,
I thought you. I
didn't
think you
like
felt
that.
we were in the theater together. Me and Andrew were in the theater together. Um, and this is the first movie we got to go to the theater together since fucking 2 years ago, and or a year ago, not 2 years ago, and uh, I think you like felt me jump at that part. Like I hated it. Oh, I hated it. I fucking hated that part so much. It was so well done, but Jesus Christ, it just I hated it. Um, it was really good though. There's a lot of those moments in this movie though. There's a lot of those. They do not pull punches in this movie. Fuck that. They do not. Um,
Yeah.
God. But yeah. Um, I really thought they like, this movie follows a lot of different storylines, right? So like, I thought they did a great job of like balancing the time with because obviously there is one group that gets more shine than the others, but
Right.
they still balance it well enough where you're not getting like you're not getting fatigued from any of the storylines, and also
Yeah.
it's like paced really well. Like I thought it was paced supremely well. Like I wanted to keep watching the movie. Like I could have sat there for another 30 minutes watching just whatever the fuck was going on easily. Like the movie would have been worse for it, but I would have done it because I was having such a good time. And I say that as like I low key was having a panic attack after that movie. Like
Yeah, let me tell you something. There was nothing low key about it. Sitting next
yeah,
to Joe in the theater, you could tell. Like this guy's
yeah.
really going through
I
some stuff
I
right
was like
now.
doing this a lot. Well, I don't know if you could tell, but so we went to lunch afterwards, and I was like, it wasn't like I wasn't doing it like purposely. I was just trying to calm down from it, but I was like still like shaking from like because
Yeah.
it really. I mean, I have anxiety, so I can get very anxious. And this movie made me extremely nervous and anxious. Um, but like I still thought it like I don't know. I hate the feeling of being anxious, but like this movie was just so well done. Like I don't know how to explain it. I guess that's the way to explain it. It was so well done, but yeah. So saying that I enjoyed the movie is kind of a weird thing, but I did. I really thought it was great. Um, you want to feel something like with these movies,
Exactly.
and this movie fucking does it. But
Yeah. And
yeah,
it's it's just what's bound to happen when a movie like this where the sound is so important, where the
yep.
use of quiet is so important. The characters have to be quiet. The everything has to be so quiet. So then the theater is quiet. And
Mm-hmm.
wild.
Yeah.
But one of the things I love, you see, so with Regan being such a huge focus in this movie, there were some
Hmm.
cool things that they did with sound that I don't remember them doing as much with the first one. Because you switch POV audibly,
Yes.
which is awesome.
Yeah.
What so
They did that a few times in the
the
first
only
one, but not as much.
okay, because they did it. I think they did it really well here. It was really
Hmm.
cool, and it also felt there were there was a little more weight to it because we were following Regan this movie. Like I
Yes.
said, she was the one that we were going along the ride with.
Hmm.
Uh, so most of the time, if you like to do POV audibly, typically it's like Saving Private Ryan style, right? It's like
Yeah.
a war movie or something big explodes, and then there's like a "ee." And then it's like, come on, man,
Hmm.
we gotta go, and then it like goes back to normal.
Yeah.
This is obviously much different from that, mainly because there's no moment where she gets taken out of that, right?
Hmm. Yeah.
It was really cool. I loved the way that they did it. Um,
That I will say, there is a moment where she is taken out of it. There's a few times because like not, and this isn't spoiling anything because this happened in the first one too.
but she's not actually taken out of it though.
Some
We're
well,
taken out of it, but she still can't hear. We switch over as an audience.
no, yeah, but sometimes it is triggered by her not having her piece
Yeah.
specifically. So when she has that, she can't hear a little bit. So, and there is a difference when she does have it and when she doesn't have it. So they do use that method a few times as well. They don't use that method every time, but there are a few methods where they do like use that way. So she in a sense does come back in that way. But like
Gotcha.
you are right. Like there are a lot of instances where like that isn't the case. Um but yeah, I want to watch it again. This is the first movie. I also gotta say, this is the first time I've been in a theater since Knives Out. Almost, I mean, over a year ago at this point. Um, where I want I want to like see this movie again, like in the theater.
Mhm.
Like I think I might. I don't know because I still got like obviously we're gonna be like probably seeing Cruella, which I also want to see, but um, I I also want to see this movie again, so I gotta find time. Because this movie was just it's the best theater experience I've had like so far, since the pandemic. So really really great stuff. Yeah, it, I completely I'm very glad that he delayed this movie as long as he did. I mean, he delayed it a year,
Oh yeah.
like over a year
You
actually.
can't you can't miss out on this one in the theater,
Yeah,
you
no,
know.
it's I mean it's the same thing when Doom got delayed, right? It's like you like yeah you kind of have to.
Yeah. It's almost like good because
Yeah.
that's the way it needs to be seen. This one
Mm.
obviously more so than a lot of others that
Oh
we
yeah.
would say that same thing about because of how unique it is,
Yep.
sound wise and
God.
stuff.
I guess to close this out, um, I really liked. Damn, it's really hard for me to say anything I didn't really like about this movie. It's
Mhm.
really tough to find anything. I gotta say, um, there's only two things. One thing is I think there were just some weird um things. There was just a couple weird times, and I can only remember one off the top of my head. So it just shows how like this really isn't that significant. Like I'm really grasping at straws here. But will say that there with some of the way the guns act in this movie, I know this is stupid, but like it really did.
Jeez.
No, it really did. But
She had the
dude,
wall against her, Joe.
no,
She was at the back
no,
against the
it
wall.
goes fucking up, dude. It's a shotgun. No, it. All I'm saying
She had
is
up against it. She had it against the
some
left.
of the way the guns act in this movie isn't realistic, and that's how it is in a lot of movies. But it is just in some instances in this movie, it is distracting because of how like integral it is to the tension of the scene.
Certainly.
So there were
Alright,
just
yeah.
some parts that did take me out. It was literally like 2 times. So it's not a huge deal. Like it really isn't. But if I am to critique anything, like that is something I can critique. I would also say I see a lot of criticism from this movie is honestly stemming from comparing it to the first movie, which I think is stupid. I understand why,
Yeah.
but that's where, like, when I see criticism for this movie, every time it's, well, it never reaches the highs from the first movie. It's like, but you're not.
No.
So
It does, and that's the thing. It does such a great job of, like I said, this is a continuation of that
yeah,
story. What are you gonna
it's
do? You gonna
it's
do the same
part
fucking thing
two.
in the last one?
It's part two.
Exactly. It's part
It's like
two. It's the second part.
it's like Godfather Part 1 and Godfather Part 2. It's not exactly like a normal sequel. It's like it's a part of the
Yeah.
same
It's a
it's
yes.
the same story. It's literally a continuation, like you said. So, like, you know what I would love to do? And I think I would have a panic attack, but I would love to do it. Watch both of these movies back to back. I think I'd have a panic
Which is,
attack,
I mean,
but I
it's
would love it.
perfect for that. Because yeah, that'd be sick actually.
I think I would. I really think. I really think it would be bad for my health, but I would love to do it. Like I think it'd be fun, but I think it'd be really cool to see that. But I probably will at some point. Anyhow, so yeah, I'm not. I don't. So in regards to comparing it to the first movie, no, it does not reach the same. Like we said at the beginning, it doesn't reach maybe the same height of tension as in some ways, but that doesn't mean it's a lesser movie or it's not as impactful. I disagree very much with that. But I just wanted to say that because honestly, like, I was kind of surprised by seeing some of the reviews for this movie be lower. And I just saw the same thing over and over. Well, it doesn't capture the same lightning in a bottle experience. It's like, you guys, come on. This isn't the Lighthouse.
Sounds good, buddy.
This isn't the Lighthouse, guys. This is a. Okay, so.
Well, folks.
Let's.
They got nothing to say. They got nothing to say. Okay, I want to say this last thing though.
Yeah. Okay.
I think that so the second the movie ended,
Yeah.
we
Oh,
were like,
yeah.
I
We
think
gotta
they're
talk
gonna
about
do
this.
another one.
Yeah, I do.
And I think you're probably right.
I hope they.
I don't want another one. I
Dude.
didn't want this one. And look, it was good. I don't want just make one movie. Just make one movie.
They could make one more.
And
No.
leave it. It was good. They absolutely could, and I think
it
you're
would
right
be
that
good,
they will.
and I bet it would be good.
I don't fucking care.
No,
I don't
because you
care.
liked this movie, because you fucking liked this movie, didn't you? This movie you fucking
but
loved.
I don't care if I'm gonna like the next one. I don't want it, even if I'm gonna enjoy it. I don't care.
Fuck you.
No, I don't
I like
want
trilogies,
you
and
to
this
put
could
a
be a
lid
perfect
on this
trilogy.
box.
It's not a
I
lid.
don't.
I guess it could be a lid in a
If
way.
exactly, if there is an end to that's what this one ends with so much hope, which is wonderful, and the second one did as well. This one on a much larger scale, so it really opens up the possibilities for the world.
Yes.
But I don't like it as much as the ending for the last one. Because again, I
That's
like that tiny little bit. You know what it's like, Joe? It's like the trailer for your Bo Burnham special, where there's a little bit of light coming through the crack in the door. That's all I need. That's it. And then stop it right there. That's it. That's enough. The everything else can exist in your own mind. No clear answers to anything. That's what I like. I like the open endings. And this one still ends a little open ending. And
Okay.
you know what I'm afraid of also is
Hmm.
like the next one is gonna be like The Matrix 2, where it's like, oh, it opens up like it presents now all these like other survivors taking down the machines, and because Matrix 2, I gotta pass on that
Hmm.
one.
This is the thing.
So that's what I'm worried about.
Two things I'll say about this. One thing. I said this when we left the theater
Two
as well.
things. Yeah, two things. One thing I'm gonna say.
Yeah, well, the first thing. Um um the first thing. This is I said this about Logan when we first saw Logan, but now I was proven wrong because Logan I think this is actually a better version of it than Logan is. This is the closest we'll ever get to a Last of Us movie other than the show that's coming out. Like in movie form, unless they make a Last of Us movie, which I don't think they will because they're making a show. This is the closest we are going to get until the next time we get closer. But this is the closest to it right now. It's really great. God, it's just so cool. So I didn't expect this movie to be that, and it is, and that's awesome. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about, and that's great. And if you
If you
don't,
know, you know.
you don't lose anything from it. It's just like it's a cool little like it's cool. Um, I also wanted the second thing I wanted. So that being said, the second thing I wanted to say on that, I think, and I told you this as well already, but I think the way these movies, the trajectory for these movies seem like they're going, it could easily be a Planet of the Apes trilogy scenario where the first movie is, each movie has a very distinct sense. And I know what you're going to say.
Yes.
There are time
Yes, and
jumps.
I am gonna
There
say
are
it.
time jumps in between each
Joe,
movie.
listen. Oh my God, let me say it so that I can articulate it.
Okay.
The difference between that, the Planet of the Apes movies, and this Quiet Place potential trilogy is that there are massive time jumps between the Planet of
Mm-hmm.
the Apes trilogy,
Mm-hmm.
all those movies, and that makes a big difference.
But as we saw with this movie, I think it can be easily I think it can easily be translated for one more move. I think there is clearly, and I know you said this, but you just don't want like there to be more to it. Well, no, that's not what
Yeah,
I.
I just don't.
You just don't want to see like you want it
Well,
to be open ended.
yeah,
Yes,
exactly.
and I think it would be really
And I
cool.
think that it's
I think it'd be really cool to see where they can go with this. And I think where they can go with it is very obvious where well, I guess I can't really say, but I I think what they set up for is a really and you're right. They could just leave it at this, but they could also kind of go to one more one more thing, and I think that could be really cool. I think it could also not be good. So I could see it both ways. But if just I didn't think this movie when I first heard about it was going to be good. So the fact that it's as good as it is gives me hope that if John Krasinski wrote and directed the next one and he kind of planned for the next one, then I
okay.
think
Sure. They got away with it this time. But to do a next one, you probably have to open up the world further,
mhm
even more so, like a lot more so than you did in this one.
mhm
And I mean, that there's zero interest in that for me.
wow. Okay. I I think that could be
Like,
really.
let's, like, because
Can I? Okay.
I would it would make me laugh so much if the trailer for the next one comes out and it opens on um Regan, Emily Blunt, and Noah Jupe walking in like a kind of desolate looking field like it
Mm-hmm.
was a city block and overgrown,
Mm-hmm.
and then the camera like pans up and they're like in front of the White House, and the White House has like a bunch of vines
No,
and stuff
that's
on
fucking
it.
stupid. No, I don't want that.
I know.
No, this is what I'm.
Nobody
Can I? Can
does.
I just? Spoiler alert. Do not listen to this part. Just skip ahead a few seconds if you don't want to hear this, because I'm gonna spoil what
Yeah.
happens and where it goes, or where I
Enjoy
think it'll
My
go.
Cousin Vinny.
Yeah.
And let's see. Let's get down to brass tacks here.
All I'm gonna say is so this, remember when I said my favorite scene in this whole movie, my favorite fucking part, the sequence in this whole movie, is when they are with the boat people. That is the best sequence in the whole movie, in my opinion. Now, the reason why that is so great is because that is the first glimpse that we get at this outside world, other than who we know, and other than the island. Like, because the island is an anomaly. That is a very, that's literally paradise in this movie. And so we get this little glimpse of what these other people have been doing, and how they've been surviving, and how, they've kind of probably had to have been savages in a way. Now,
Yeah.
I think that there is so much potential for there to be one more movie taking place exactly right after this, and not them fucking, taking, like, I don't want, it doesn't have to be the whole
Yeah.
fucking
Not
world.
going like full crazy
No, but
blockbuster, which is what I described.
more of the human, like, there's gonna be more of the aliens as well, but maybe it focuses more on the human conflict than the alien conflict. I think that could be really fucking awesome, and I think that could be a perfect way to close it out. I think that could be great. That is how I feel about it.
Could be.
Now, that's the thing.
That's true.
If they made a third movie, who knows if that's the route they go down. So that's the thing. That's like what I hope, but they could also not go down that route. So that's the thing. A third movie is scary. That's why if John Krasinski wrote it and directed it, and it was like kind of, he had a roadmap for it, like beforehand, like it seemed like he had for this movie, then great. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. I do want to say something that I just saw today came out, which does not make me excited, but it doesn't.
Boy, hot off the presses.
Paramount has dated an untitled Quiet Place movie for March 31st, 2023. The film is based on an idea by John Krasinski and will be written and directed by Jeff Nichols. That doesn't... So, the way they phrase it makes it seem like it's not going to be like it seems like the way they phrase that particularly is that it's going to be a spin-off, and it's not going to be tied directly to this trilogy, which I also think can be good. So, we'll see what happens.
I don't want a spin-off. Why? I hope that doesn't happen.
Well, it's gonna
So
happen.
it sounds. I don't.
It's
happening.
It's
It doesn't matter. Could fall through. I'm still holding out hope.
I do not like that it's not written and directed by John Krasinski, but at the same time, I also know...
I mean, that was the plan for this one. He wasn't going to do it with this, but I guess ultimately he didn't. It worked out, so whatever.
I also know that he wants, like, to probably work on other things. Like, he's probably like, okay, I got other ideas, like, let's start, like, he doesn't want to just be the Quiet Place director. Like, he wants to direct, like, I'm sure he wants to direct, like, other really cool ideas. So, anyhow, yeah, what are we... I guess let's rate this movie. What are you gonna rate this one, Andrew?
A Quiet Place Part 2 gets 9 juice boxes out of 10.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't remember what I rated the first one, but it doesn't matter.
Me neither.
You know what's crazy? Like, this movie I could see this movie getting higher than this in the future, but for now, I'm gonna give it 9 juice boxes out of 10 as well. I could see it easily getting to 9.5 or 10, but for now it's at 9. It's just really fucking good. It's really fucking good. Like I said, I could easily see it going up a point or a half a point, so it might change in the future, but for now I'm gonna keep it at a 9. Yeah. I could see, yeah. We'll see what happens. Really good stuff, though. Really good stuff. Definitely check it out if you haven't. And I think I'm gonna see if I can check it out again, because damn, it was really good. Anyhow, we got the throwback of the week. Very excited for this one. I feel like this is one that we've been planning on doing for a while, but we always I just always like, this is one of the ones that I always forgot to like bring back up, and then there's like so many movies. But I'm so glad we finally got to it, because I feel like this is a really good one to do. So this week the throwback is none other than My Cousin Vinny, 1992, and yeah, directed by Jonathan Lynn and written by Dale Launer. And it stars Joe Pesci and Marissa Tomei.
Marissa
Is it Marissa?
Tomei.
And Ralph Macchio.
She's an incredibly famous actress.
I know that. I just didn't know like how it was pronounced. Ralph Macchio. And yeah. It also stars a good amount of other people. But those are the main ones. And it basically, Joe Pesci is oh god, you know what, okay, I'm gonna do a good job of this.
Are you?
I am.
Okay,
don't worry.
okay. Keep it simple, Joe. That's all you need.
I'm gonna keep it simple. That's what I'm gonna do. So these two college students are leaving a convenience store, and they end up getting pulled over. They think they get pulled over after leaving the convenience store because Ralph Macchio's character accidentally stole a can of tuna. So he thinks that that's why they're getting pulled over. But in reality, they're getting pulled over because they think that they just murdered the shop clerk. Because the shop... Did I explain? I might not have explained that well.
Yeah, okay. You did a little... You did start a little rough, Joe.
Okay.
You did start a little rough.
Go for it.
You did not need to tell everyone that they got pulled over.
Oh, well.
It's simply these... Are they driving... Where are they driving to? Like California?
I think they're driving... Oh, I don't know. Some college. They're just driving to college.
I think they're driving
Tennessee,
across country.
thought, right? Yeah.
That's where they... So I believe they're driving from New York to California, something like that.
Yes, I think you're right.
Okay. As they're going cross country, they get stuck in this very small town.
Yes.
And they get wrongfully accused of murder. They've got no money. They've got no way to prove that they didn't do it. There's evidence stacking up against them. Luckily, Ralph Macchio's cousin is a lawyer.
Mm-hmm.
And he comes to town with his hotshot New York City ways and attempts to get the charges dropped to prove the innocence of his cousin and his cousin's friend.
Okay.
But they catch a lot of heat from the small town judge with the small town, way of doing things.
Yep.
Judicial system. A lot of button heads in this movie.
You killed it.
I had never seen this movie before.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I'd seen part of it on television, but I never watched the whole thing. I always wanted to.
Yeah. It's a great one.
I really liked it.
Yeah. I'm really glad we did it then. I thought you saw it before. This is one of the first movies I ever have memory watching with my grandfather. He really likes this movie. It's a good one. It's really funny. It's been a while since I've seen this movie. Been quite a while. I didn't realize how long it is. And also, not like that it's too long. It's just I didn't realize like it's a 2-hour movie. I thought it was an hour and a half. I always thought it was an hour and a half, but it's 2 hours. I also didn't realize that this movie's like pacing is like not bad. It's like strange, but I think it works.
It is a little weird.
I think it does work out in the end, but it is weird because this movie has like a lot of like setup where you don't really, and it doesn't like portray it as setup though, if that makes sense. Like there's a lot of small things that happen in the beginning of this movie that actually aren't just like used as a gag in the movie. Like it actually is like good information that is used in the end of the movie, and it makes it really impactful and it very satisfying. For example, the whole grits thing, I completely forgot that that's a huge part in the
Yeah.
testimony at the end of the movie. And that is at the very beginning of the movie. And that is a small thing, and you think it's just a comedy bit. But that's a very, like, that's a great, that is a, the way they did that, and they didn't, like, they also didn't handhold, they didn't, like, feed it to the audience.
Nothing.
Like, it was, like,
Because
you would,
there is,
yeah.
yeah, it's a credit to the writing, obviously. It's
Mm-hmm.
excellent. It's cool because there is, you could have done this movie as like a mystery where
Mm-hmm.
like, it's like, oh, a clue, and
Mm-hmm.
then it's like, oh, I wonder how that clue's gonna fit in. It does it so much better than that.
Mm-hmm.
It's really just these people living their lives in this situation and just, coming to the truth.
Yeah.
And yes, absolutely. The way that it sprinkles that stuff in the movie is I mean, that's what sets it apart.
Yeah. The, the last, like, the third act of this movie is so, it is so good. Like it, I will say, by the time you get to the end of the second act, you are starting to be like, okay, like you start to get like not anxious, almost impatient. At least I was getting a little impatient because I was like, okay, like I want to get to like, I know like it's coming. Like I want to get to the really like the really good part, like the really good stuff. But I think it does a perfect job of like making you have that anticipation as long as possible. And then right when it gives it to you, it's like perfect, like it's like a perfect like release of it.
Right.
So I think that's why the pacing is weird. Is it holds you out a little longer than normal movies like pacing structure
Yeah.
usually does.
Exactly. I think it it feels strange because there are there aren't it doesn't really just, like you said, it doesn't hold your hand. It doesn't
No.
lead you really along anywhere.
Yeah.
Um, it just kind of presents what is to you, and
Yeah.
that's, you know,
What did
phenomenal.
Yeah, the acting is also like obviously Joe Pesci. Everyone in this movie does a really great job. Um
Yeah.
Joe Pesci's great in this movie. Um and you know what, I just found this out. Uh Marisa Tomei,
Marissa
it's
Tomei,
Marissa Tomei won best supporting actress or actor
actress at the Academy Awards.
for this role, which is
That's
fucking
correct.
awesome. That's really great. Cuz I was about
There's
to
some
say
story there. I can't remember what it was.
I was about to say that she honestly, I think, steals the show from Joe Pesci in a lot of instances.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
I think
100%.
she's the
She is
like,
not, yeah, she is not letting, she is doing such a great job
yeah,
acting wise in this movie.
she's insane
She's
in this
not
movie.
letting herself be outshined by anybody.
Yeah, like
She's making everybody work as hard as they can to keep up with what she's doing, you know?
yeah, yeah, yeah. She's really really fucking good in this movie. Um, and yeah, I mean every like I thought you know what I want to say this movie did a good job with that I kind of didn't realize when I watched it when I was younger. This movie does a good job of portraying stakes. The stakes are high in this movie, right? Like
Yes,
it's literally like they will die if this isn't,
that's right. They'll get the chair if they get found guilty.
and they show that visually many times. And I think they do a very good job of like showing the stakes without
Yeah.
without being like you're gonna die. Like they,
No, of course. It's
yeah,
always hanging there, but they're not hitting
yeah.
you on the head with it.
Like when they walk past death row and the cops like, oh yeah, that's death row, like, and he
Oh
talks
yeah, there you
about,
go.
and then he talks about like that they had to like electrocute a guy like 6 times before he died. Like, I was like, Jesus, like, I don't know, like that stuff like that, like really well done. Like the script is just really, really good in this movie. And honestly, that's so much of this movie, because this movie is dialogue. It's just, but it's like you don't get tired of it. It's so just like off the cuff, like it feels so natural. Um, so yeah, the script for this movie. Hello, hello.
Get bothering me to make an appearance. Continue.
Hello. I love it. I love the cats. Oh, great. Oh my god. It's awesome. So.
Hey, all right, that's enough. She's starting to nibble, Joe.
Yep.
She
Yep.
knows I don't play that
She
shit.
knows I don't play that game. That's so funny.
She does.
I love her. So yeah, that's what I was gonna say about how they show stakes in this movie. I think it's really good. I I was almost worried when I started rewatching this movie, because I was like, man, is this movie gonna be like one of those movies that like it doesn't like hold up as much as you like remember it like as a kid? But man, it does. It's really fucking good. It's like it is a very solid movie, and it's so entertaining. And like, I love how it starts. It starts, you get right into it. Right the fuck into it.
Yes, I completely agree. That is something I loved about this movie.
Like, you get
We're just
right
boom,
into it.
it's happening.
Yeah. Oh my
Yeah.
god. Also, the best use of comedy in this movie, and they use it a lot, the best use of comedy in this movie that I don't see enough in movies anymore, honestly, in comedy movies anymore, is the I wrote it down because the art of miscommunication in this movie. This whole movie is about miscommunication. Like, that's literally
Right.
the basis of the comedy in this movie. But God, every joke is about miscommunication, and it is so fucking funny. Like, it really doesn't. It's because they always tell it in a new way, and that's why it keeps getting funny. When what's his name meets Vinny for the first time, and thinks that he's about to like he's asking him to like fuck him up the ass. One of the funniest. That's the funniest intro that they could have ever had for that. Like, that was so well done. Like, the wordplay there, it's like, you could say it's like stupid, but it really is. It's so like, it's very smartly like put together. Like, it really is. For as low brow as a joke as it is, obviously, it's like, it
Oh,
doesn't
it was
matter.
excellent. It was
Yeah.
it's something that's been a lot of people have tried to imitate scenes like that.
Yeah.
Well, this scene in different
Mm-hmm.
ways, and they don't do a good job of it the way
And
that this one does. And I
yeah.
think across the board, there's a lot of things that people try to imitate. Because if you look at this movie, I think you can kind of tell when
Mm-hmm.
you're watching it that maybe some people who were behind this movie, studios, producers, didn't have the highest expectations for it, and it really blew things away. Because
Mm-hmm.
if you break down the bones of this thing, it's very simple. It's, you could kind of like undersell it, incorrectly and say like, oh, it's just some comedy or whatever, but
Yeah.
it's got the perfect people playing these roles.
Mm-hmm.
It's written incredibly well,
Yeah.
the storyline anyhow. Um, but it's still it's pretty bare bones. Like there's been a lot of people trying to like there's been a lot of attempts at copying what Marissa
Mm.
Tomei did in this movie and
Mm-hmm.
Joe Pesci's character as well. And none of them have even come close.
Yeah.
But if
Yep.
you watch this movie, one of the things there's so the way that it is directed. There's a lot of I don't know. It does seem a little. There's too many Dutch tilts, Joe. There's too many
There
Dutch
are a lot of
tilts.
Dutch tilts,
And they're
aren't there?
so aggressive.
There are.
And they're so aggressive.
Some
And
of
that
them
just
are
feels a
great.
little it feels very 90s to me. Like it
Mm-hmm.
feels like You know what it kind of feels like? It feels like what I said, like maybe the expectations for this movie was that it was just going to be some kind of goofy
Hmm.
comedy. Um,
I thought some
so
of
you
them
have to
were.
like,
Yeah.
so let's put something very exaggerated in
Hmm.
there to, because you have to show this to
Hmm.
people or
It's
whatever.
mainly in the
At
beginning,
the end of
right?
the day, that's not really what the movie became.
If I remember.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean,
I
by the
can't
time you get
remember.
to like the third act,
It's
there's
not in the
not
third
there's
act at
not
all,
really
I
any, but
think.
the first and second,
Yeah.
they're
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
littered throughout.
Yes. I do. Yeah. So, yeah, I'd agree with that. You know what? I think I just got used to them after a while, but I do remember in the beginning kind of being jarred by some of them cuz I do think they are a little unnecessary. I think one or two would have been fine, but I think they do like do it a little bit too much where it becomes unnecessary. Um
Right, and some of the shots last like a few seconds, like a little
yeah.
longer than you'd want them to, or as exaggerated as the angle is.
Yeah. Yep. I'd say it's yeah, I'd agree with that. The what was I gonna say? Before I talk about the end, um there was one other thing I wanted to say. Um oh, what was it? One more thing I had to bring up before I like talk about the end that I also thought was great, like with the writing and like the miscommunication. And another great example of showing Joe Pesci's like character development and growth without like like just context dialogue. Um, and it did it or exposition dialogue. I meant. And the way they did that is by because you literally just meet him out of nowhere, so you have to like learn a lot about this character through just the movie that's happening, right? Like you don't really.
Yeah, that's true. But oh yeah, I mean, we know that he's a lawyer, that he's Ralph Macchio's cousin, that he's a lawyer from the city.
But like.
I feel like that's enough that when he shows up, but when
Mm-hmm.
he shows up, it doesn't seem out of place to who you might have thought that he was
Mm-hmm.
just hearing that phone conversation. You
True.
know, seems
I
to make sense that like this is the type of guy maybe.
Yeah, I guess I don't know if I'm explaining well, but what I'm trying to say is I just think the way the dialogue works with the characters in this movie, I just think they did a really good job showing like who the characters were without giving like remember last week when we did that or like it was all in the moment like when you first see Joe Pesci and Marissa Tomei's characters interact in when they get out of the car and he's checking the car for the mud in the tires and they have that whole interaction with the other guy. It that is like literally a perfect opening scene. Like it's just it or it's not an opening scene. It's a perfect like introduction scene.
Introduction to those characters, absolutely,
It
because the way
was
they interact with each other is excellent.
I mean
Yeah,
their
well, the
chemistry is
movie,
great.
it's just a very well written movie. It's just a
Yeah.
very well written
Yeah.
movie.
I one the two jokes that I gotta call out before we move on to the because I do just want to say the third act as well, something about the third act that I love as well, but the the guy who stiffs Marissa's character and that the whole like the whole $200 thing, that's
Yeah.
one of the best bits in the whole fucking movie. So fucking funny. I love that bit. Also, the bit where that actually does work with the movie. It's not just a bit. It actually like ties into a lot of the movie. Is the fact that he can't fucking go to sleep. So funny, like everywhere. Like I don't know. You think it like would get really like I don't know. I thought it was gonna get like eye rolly at a point, but honestly, like I thought it was funny like every time because I really didn't think it. I thought he really was gonna get like I really thought there was gonna be a break, and then there really wasn't, and I thought that was really funny how it was done. I don't know. It was really well done. Um, and when they're in the car, that's the best part. When they're in the car and and he just wants to fucking sleep, and Marissa's like does like wants to like get stuff going, and he just wants
Stuff
to
going.
fucking go to sleep, and he's like so tired, and then the lightning strikes, and he's like, oh, it's so I don't know, I really thought that was really
This guy
funny.
can't catch a break.
I thought it was
Yeah.
so funny. um um but yeah, that leads, yeah, and then the third act is just it pays off it extraordinarily. It's what you want to see.
Yeah.
It's the best part of the movie, and it's fucking incredible. That's where so much of the meat of this movie is. It's just like
Right.
it's crazy.
Well, that because it's kind of like they're kind of putting all the ingredients
Yeah.
through the movie, and then the third act it all comes together
Yep.
in such a,
It's
like you said, such a great way.
yeah. It's like those, and there's such memorable scenes. I mean, each testimony that, or each questioning is so
Yeah.
memorable. Like the whole glasses thing. What I'll never forget the first time I saw that scene where he takes the tape measure and he like has the tape measure pulled across the thing 50 feet. I'll never forget. I'll also never forget like when he's showing the guy the pictures. What is that? Bushes.
That's a great part.
Bushes. It's so
Christ.
fucking funny.
Um,
Screens.
I
It's
also
so.
really like that we never see the actual perpetrator.
I was just gonna say that. Yep.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's all right.
It's all isolated. It's all isolated. Like
That's right.
it's really cool. The judge did a great
And
job.
there's no Scooby Doo
Yeah.
moment there.
Yeah. I wanted to say the judge did a great job as well. The judge's character is phenomenal. I think. His voice is just really good. Like, what?
Man, every time
You?
that guy got on screen, I was
Mhm.
like, this guy is so made for this role that it's
Yeah.
unbelievable.
It's crazy.
Fred Gwynn played Herman Munster on the
Yeah.
television show The Munsters.
Yes. That's where I recognized him from. Of course. That's awesome. Yeah. No, he was great. And hmm.
I'm talking to the cat.
Oh. But yeah. I don't know. I think that's all there is to it. I mean, and the movie ends like really well. Like, yeah, the movie ends really well too. Like it's a really good movie. It's just a solid fucking movie. I don't know. Like, yeah. I honestly, the only thing I could critique about it is what you said is I agree with the Dutch angle critique. Other than that, I don't really know too much that I would change about this movie. Like, like, I really dig everything else that this movie like did, and all the actors. Oh, the other guy I wanted to shout out, the public defender. He was so good. The guy who played the public defender. He's a big actor. I can't remember his name. Let me look it up.
Well, he
Austin
well, that guy
Pendleton.
was it. Yeah, he was in a lot of like towards the back end of the slapstick comedies.
Mm-hmm.
He was a big actor in a lot of those,
Mm.
which again kind of continues my point of saying what I think the expectations were for this movie originally.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just having like a cameo, basically an extended cameo from that particular guy in it.
Okay, that's interesting. So like that's kind of what this was in this like in yeah, I mean that makes sense. That was kind of what his role was in this movie then basically. Yeah.
Well, I think that was just kind of like, oh, we got him in it. It's
Yeah,
this type of movie,
that's
you know.
interesting. Yeah, I mean I'm glad. I think this movie outperformed and like out not maybe not outperformed, but it exceeded a lot of people's expectations. It's not, I got to tell you, I mean nowadays especially, and also, you know, no one cares about the Oscars, but all I'm saying is, it is not very often that just basically a pure comedy movie gets nominated for an Oscar, like especially that category. That does not happen very often at all. I can't remember a modern movie that has that's happened with, actually. I really can't. Other than The Disaster Artist, which was the last one that I think I remember it happening with.
Right.
So yeah, honestly, like, this is I'm happy for it though. That's pretty awesome. Like I said, she steals the fucking show. Like, she is incredible in this movie. Also, I have the same theory with her that I do with Paul Rudd, that she doesn't age. Cause like, they both, like, I didn't realize she was Aunt May in Spider-Man.
Yeah.
That's fucking crazy. Yeah, so yeah, she has the same thing as Paul Rudd does, where they just don't age. Like, that's fucking wild. So yeah. Anyhow, I'm ready to let's rate this sucker.
Alrighty.
I hate that I said that.
Now it's forever. Now it's been captured permanently.
God, this is tough. You know what's crazy? I was gonna give this a different score, but then you brought up the Dutch tilts, and it's like, well, how much does that actually impact the score of the movie? Because it's a worthy critique. I'm not gonna let it change it, because I still think that this holds up. I'm gonna give this personally, I'm gonna give this movie a 10 out of 10. I think it holds up really fucking well, and like, it's just, I think it's deemed for me a classic. Like, I can rewatch this movie and have a good time with it. I could show this movie to anyone, and I think they would have a good time with it. I just think it's a really, really fun time.
I think that the solid score for this is 8.5 juice boxes.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. That's as low as I would go. That is as low as I would go. But
oh yeah, for sure.
I would not go any lower than 8.5. But yeah,
it really excels in a lot of ways.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it 10 just because, like I said, like this movie. Just, like, you know, this is definitely more of a, like, that's definitely probably most, like, some parts nostalgia too as well. But I was really impressed with how well it held up, and yeah, some good memories with this one. This is a good one. So yeah, definitely check it out. Great movie. It's not on any streaming service, sadly, so, you know, if you want to watch it, $3 on YouTube, which, not a big deal. It's definitely worth it, I think. You're gonna, I mean, you could rewatch it twice easily. Like, I almost, like, wanted to watch it again today, because I was like, damn, this is a fun fucking, it's just so fun. So many fun moments to rewatch with it. Anyhow, yeah. So, heard it here first, and that's what we got. That is the throwback of the week, and now that is the end of the show this week. So yeah. You can follow us on Instagram at film_juice. You can also follow us on Twitter at filmjuicepod. If you're listening to us on Spotify, thank you. You can also listen to us on other streaming services if you'd like. Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Podbean, all of the big ones. We are also on YouTube. So if you want to watch the video version, it is up, and you can see me doing this with my hands, and you can see Andrew's cat, who made a guest appearance on this episode. That was the second, I think, of all time on this show, and I know, very rare for her to show up, but, you know, we do love it. We do love it. And anyhow, yes. Also, watch parties. There will be one soon-ish. There's gonna be at least be one soonish, because, you know, we're gonna, because this month and next month is gonna be a little crazy for the show. So there actually might be some breaks here and there. But for sure, will hopefully at least be one more. And then we might end up having to miss a month, but we will at least get one more in there, hopefully. So before we have to take a little break from that. But yeah, so stay tuned for that news for that to come on the socials. And yeah, it'll be on YouTube. You can watch the old Watch Party on YouTube as well. They're all on there, except the first one because that got taken down for dumb reasons. But all the other ones are still up. So yeah, cool stuff. I think that's all there is to it this week. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. And yeah, as always, I'm Joe Dorado.
I'm Andrew, Canada, and we'll see you next time at the movies. There you go.